everyone, welcome to today's class. I'm Rochelle. I teach yoga inspired movement. Today we're focusing on deep hip release as well as sprinkling in a little bit of hip mobility. You're going to need a blanket as well as 2 blocks for today's class. So go ahead and get set up. I'll meet you on your mat. For now, you can go ahead and move your blanket off of your mat and just keep 1 block. We're going to set up for a supine, a supported back bend. So how we're going to do this is you're going to come to a seated position. Keep your knees bent for now. And then go ahead. I'm going to keep this on its medium height. This is its tall height. This is a block's medium height. I'm going to do the medium height for this back bend. And I'm going to put it right below my shoulder blades. If you wear a bra, then it's going to be right where you clasp your bra, if that helps. All right, go ahead. And this might take a little bit of shimmying to set up. But when you find that sweet spot, go ahead and relax your head down. The back of your head touches the mat. Now, option here, we can start getting into hips right away. Cobbler's pose is what we're going to go into. So bringing both of your feet together, touching, let your knees fall out to the side.
My mic seemed to run into some technical errors while I was filming this. So for just this centering bit, I'm going to come in here with a voiceover. So in our back bend, go ahead and bring the first conscious breath with an inhale through the nose and an exhale out the mouth as you settle into your practice here and using mindfulness in the body. Let's start with the crown of the head, starting to release every muscle one by one. So around the forehead, around the eyebrows, relax through the cheekbones, relax through your jaw, relax your tongue even. Work your way down, relaxing through the neck muscles, and then naturally to the shoulder muscles, and then down through the rib cage. Just start to let go. Go ahead and let your belly expand. Let go around your core. Keep working your way down. Relax your glutes, relax your thighs, relax your kneecaps, which isn't really a thing, but verbalizing it that way kind of helps trigger and cue a response in our body just to start letting go of all those little small muscles that we don't even know we have. So go ahead and keep relaxing down the calves, through the ankles, through the toes, and just fully release out through your fingertips. Today's practice is going to trigger a lot of release in the body, specifically in the hips. This may also trigger a release of emotions, since it is not uncommon to carry emotions with us as tension in our bodies. So as these emotions might come up for you today, I invite you to allow yourself to release them. Just as breath work can help us manage pain in the body, our breath can also help us release and let go of some of these emotional pains as well. Keep that in mind through your practice today. If you come across a pose that is deeply releasing, come back to your breath. Use it as a focal point to help release some of that deep tension as well as emotion that might be ready to leave the body. Take these next few moments of silence to focus on your breath as you inhale through your nostrils and then exhale out your mouth. When you're ready, slowly begin to bring your knees back to center, and we'll go ahead and move on.
Use your elbows to gently sit up and remove the block. And go ahead and come back down to the mat on your back and bring your knees into chest. And then go ahead and bring the feet floating up towards the ceiling, but keep as much of a bend in the back of your knees that you can. Option to take hold of the ankles, maybe just the back of the knees for now, or even the sides of your feet. Okay, we're gonna go into happy baby. We're going to keep things moving at the beginning of class here. Nice and dynamic. Nothing static yet. Rock side to side. Very nice. From here, go ahead and bring the knees back into the chest. Have a nice little hug. Maybe you're still swaying back side to side. Then just a couple times, straightening the legs out, feet together towards the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, bring them in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knees. Just a couple more times. Exhale. Inhale. Got all backwards today. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knees to chest. So from here, we're going to start rocking back and forth until finally we'll have enough momentum. Come up to a seated position. Now go ahead and wrap the legs around and come into kneeling just temporarily. We're going to grab our blanket here. And you want to set it up so that it's wide across your mat here. So adjust that as you need. And then set it up right in the center of your mat, kind of creating a T with your blanket in your mat. Great. When that is all set up, we're going to move into frog pose. This one is kind of an awkward pose, to be honest. You're not going to feel very graceful or cute. That's okay. So starting up here on the hands, you're going to just check form here. So spine is neutral. Go ahead and tighten your core up towards your rib cage here. Knees are wide on the mat, pretty much off of the mat, really. That's why your blanket is here for added support. And then make sure that your knee and your ankle is a nice straight perpendicular line. And then go ahead and flex the ankles here. Great. A nice wide position here, and the hips are opening. Now you can stay up here because this might be your range of motion, and you might be feeling the beginning of a release in your inner hip flexors. If you would like to come down onto your elbows, option for you to do that as well. But either way, once you find the position that works best for you, then you're going to start gently rocking forward and back with the hips. Now, the more that you sit your hips back, you're going to feel a greater stretch on the hip flexors there, those inner hip flexors. Now, as you move forward, you're going to get some relief from that stretch. So play around with how that feels. Moving gently for now. This is still the beginning of our flow. We're still warming up our body. We're just starting to take notice of where our hips are today. How open are they? How tense are they? No judgment, whatever you realize. But this will help us know how far to take each stretch, what our bodies need from us today, so on and so forth. Nice, even inhales and exhales. If it might help you, you can count 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. And that's what I mean by an even inhale. Even it's the same amount of time for your inhale. Wonderful. Okay, go ahead and come back up onto your palms. You're going to bring your toes together in the center as you sit back onto your heels and gently come out of that frog pose. Now you can go ahead and start moving the blanket off of your mat, or keep your blanket there because we will be going into like a low lunge. So if you need any extra knee support, now is your little warning ahead of time that we have some more knee work coming up. All right, so we're in our crouch position here. Keep your toes tucked. Go ahead and come up into your first down dog of this practice. So we're gonna pedal the feet out, keep things moving, keep things light. Nothing too static right now in our practice. Go ahead and just start feeling out your first down dog of the day. Back to breath here. Inhaling through the nostrils. Exhaling out the mouth. You might be pedaling your feet back and forth here. From here, you're going to go into three-legged down dog, lifting the right leg back behind you. Go ahead and bend the knee, let the heel fall down back towards bones. Nice open hips there on the right side. You're keeping your shoulders square, so a slight twist through the midsection while you're opening your hip up on the right side here. So we're not splitting open like this. We're keeping our shoulders nice and square, facing down towards the mat. Perfect. Go ahead and extend that leg. Stack the hips again. Exhale. Bring the knee through center. Bringing the foot up. Gently place that gently down at the top of your mat. Wide. Go ahead and heel toe that foot out wide to the outside of the right hand. We're going to bring the right knee down onto the mat. Now again here, going to be careful not to find anything too static in our practice yet. So if you need to, move the hips slightly back and forth and just work your way into that stretch, feeling it out, figuring out how open that part of the hip is right now and what exactly it needs. This is lizard pose here. You can stay up on your hands like this. Invitation to play around with this pose. I'm going to come onto the heel of my right foot here. So go ahead and do the same if you want to do this next part. Coming onto the edge of your right foot, that's going to naturally open up the right thigh outwards. And then take your hand and just gently press on this part of the hip on the other side of the leg. Just a gentle push. Light twist in the upper body. Gazing up either towards the wall behind you or up towards the ceiling. Wonderful. Go ahead and come back. Flattest foot on the mat. Bring the hands down. From here, you can go ahead and try it on your elbows. You can also stay up on the palm of your hands and get the exact same benefits in this pose. Now this might be a time where you try to find some staticness in your practice. And that's feeling pretty intense for me today, so I'm going to come up onto my palms. Wonderful. Now from here, we're going to do a half split, staying in our lizard position. So exhale, bring the hips back, straighten the leg. Inhale, come forward, back to lizard. Exhale, half split. Inhale, lizard. Go ahead and keep repeating this dynamic movement. I'm going to go one more time here. Inhale, forward. Exhale, half split. Stay here for a couple breaths. Exhale. All right, now coming up just slightly, go ahead and stay in this half split pose. Bring your blocks out to either side of your foot here. We're going to heel toe your foot towards the center of the mat now. And from here, we're going to do a little bit of mobility work, our first of this practice. So this is really going to focus on the hip flexors here in the front of your hip. Now bring your blocks in towards your knee so the blocks are framing your knee. Now from here, we're going to keep as straight and flat of a back as possible. You're going to pull in the muscles behind your belly button up and in. Go ahead and set them on the highest height of your blocks. And watching me real fast, you're going to pull in through your hip socket your right foot like so, and then lifting with your heel. Lifting the heel up and back down, okay? Doing the best that you can here. And we'll rep this out. We're gonna go for 5. Start with 5. Inhale and lift for 2, 3, 4, for 5. Let's do 2 more. 6, I tricked you. And 7. Wonderful. Great. Take a beat there. Rock back and forth for just a moment. Okay, that was your first time maybe doing that. It can be a little bit weird your first time. Maybe you're not getting much lift. That's all right. If this is a brand new movement for you, try not to judge yourself, okay? Everyone's new at something for the first time, but we are going to try that little rep again. We're going to go for 5 to 7. 3, 2, 1, and pull and lift for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful. All right, moving the blocks off to the side. We'll come back to those later. Keeping your foot in the center of the mat. We're still in our low lunge. We're gonna, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, I'm at a loss for words. But you're gonna lift that knee here, tucking the toes, and go ahead and find some strength in the lower body here. You might need to bring in that back foot a couple inches because we are gonna come up to standing on our next inhale. Here we go, inhale. Come up to crescent lunge. Nice big deep inhale and exhale. Go ahead and release the shoulders down. Bring your focus to that left hip flexor. Just see what it's up to. Take notice of tightness and tension. If it's more open, okay? And from here, we're going to rise up into a one-legged mountain pose. 3, 2, 1, we inhale, lift up into one-legged mountain here, and then gently find the mat behind you with that foot coming back to crescent. Great, we're going to do that again. Inhale, lift, rise to one-legged mountain, exhale, back to crescent lunge. Inhale, we're really using that left hip flexor to raise that knee up. You can keep the foot flex if you'd like here. Exhale, reach back behind for crescent pose. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step back. Awesome. Okay, from here, everyone, we're going to start turning the toes towards the left side of the room. Now all 10 toes are pointed to the left, and then start to pigeon toe the toes in slightly. Nice bend behind the knees. We're coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Option here to have your elbows out to the side, or you can clasp opposite hand to elbow, but release your head here. Elongate through the back of the spine here. Relax the neck. A generous bend behind the knees here. Awesome. Now walking your hands over to the left side of the mat or to the back of your mat. You're going to keep your feet where they are, but twist around all 10 toes towards the left until they are pointed. You're going to travel your torso and your arms with it until they're twisting all 10 toes behind you. And as gracefully as you can, find a seat. And we are going to go into cow pose from here. Now, if this is a bit too intense, this pose here for your hips, option to come up onto the flat of your foot, bring the knee up. If this is also uncomfortable, you can swing the knee out here, come into two little triangles, your legs here. So choose your preference. I'm going to come back to stacking knee over knee. Left knee is over right knee. We're going to go with eagle arms. Inhale, both arms overhead. We're going to bring the right elbow to cross over the left arm. Inhale, reach up, gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. You can also stay neutral here. That might be enough. Exhale, forward fold. If you would like a larger range of motion for this. We'll go ahead and find some stillness here at the bottom of our forward fold. Notice how your legs might be holding tension in them, protecting itself. Release through the calf. See if you can relax the muscles of the outer hips. And this can deepen the pose. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and come up to upright. And from here, plant the left foot down. Bring the right hands to frame the left foot. We're coming back into a high lunge. Go ahead and sweep that left leg back in behind you. Three-legged down dog. Open the hip, drop the foot. Keep the shoulders square. Just a little tiny twist through the midsection here as we keep the shoulders square and the hip open. Inhale. Exhale, go ahead and bring the knee through, step through to the top of your mat. But go ahead and do a wide step coming up into your lizard pose on this side. Bring the knee down. Now you might notice that this side is more open or it's more tense and locked up. So just keep that in mind, write down some inventory. Maybe your body is a little bit more balanced right now and both sides are equally open or both sides are carrying the same amount. And just time to take mental note of that. You can find stillness here in the pose, or you can just gently rock back and forth your hips and just keep that dynamic movement going. From here, take that left hand, gently press away on the inner left thigh, coming to the edge of the left foot. Gently pressing away a little bit of a upper body. Perfect. Put that foot down. Come back to palms. Now invitation here to come down onto the elbows, getting a greater stretch. Relax the head down. Maybe get some neck rolls here out of it as well. Stay with your breath. Inhaling through the nostrils, exhaling out the mouth. One more inhale here. Exhale, bring the hips back, straighten the left leg, half split. Bring the head down. Inhale, come forward. Lizard. Exhale, half split. Inhale, lizard. Exhale, half split. Inhale, lizard. Exhale, half split. We're going to stay here for 2 breaths. Wonderful. Go ahead and bring yourself back up. We're going to bring both your both your blocks back to your mat. Go ahead and bring the foot more center into your mat. You're going to bring your blocks to their highest setting, highest height. It's always funny to say it like that. stacked up or framed around your knee here. Now again, the motion is going to be pulling into your hip socket while lifting the heel at the same time. We're gonna go for 5 to 7 on this side, starting in 3, 2, 1, lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do 2 more if you can, 6 and 7, wonderful. Go ahead and rock the ankle side to side, wiggle it out. Gonna do that one more time on this side. When you are ready, we're gonna jump right into it. 3, 2, 1, lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Awesome. Whew, that is good. Over time, you can increase that number to 10 to 15 to 20, but that range of 5 to 7 is a great place to start if you've never done that before. It can really be a lot. All right, coming back up into our high lunge here. Go ahead and bring that foot back in just a couple inches here. We're going to, on the next inhale, rise up into our crescent. Here we go. Inhale. High crescent lunge. Relax the arms down here. Take note of the right hip here, of the right hip flexor. Is it open? Is it crunchy? Is it kinky? Just take inventory. See what else your body might need for the rest of this practice. Make that your focus. Maybe you're starting to feel a little bit of release at this point in your practice. All right. On the inhale, we're going to rise to one-legged mountain. Here we go. Inhale. Whoop. Keep that knee nice and lifted, foot flexed, and exhale, find crescent. Inhale, rise, one-legged mountain. Exhale, step back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, step back. Do this one more time. Inhale, rise. And exhale, crescent pose. From here, come into a wide-legged forward fold facing the wall to your right. Bend the knees generously, forward fold. Toes are slightly inward. Now you can go ahead and clasp the outside of your ankles, making your elbows go out wide, or you can clasp opposite arm to elbow. Either way, you're letting go of all tension, all engagement in the neck, and just let it go heavy. Spine is elongating. Now walking the hands over to the right side of the mat. Your feet are going to stay in place while you twist all 10 toes to turn towards the wall behind you. Go ahead and bring the knees down. Find a seat here. And same options on this side. You can have more of your knee raised and your foot flat on the mat, or you can bring both your legs out to triangle. Choose your preference here. Stacking knees together is what I'm going to go with. Inhale. Cross the elbow over the right elbow. For eagle arms, exhale. Either stay here in your eagle arms or option to forward fold. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. A reminder to relax through the outer hips, through your thighs, through your calves. We might be trying to protect you here and hold on to tension, but there is nothing that needs to be protected here. We're just finding release. Deep into it. One more inhale. One more exhale. Perfect. Go ahead and rise on up. Plant the hands down to the left. Your foot down. Come into a high lunge here. On the inhale, we're going to come up into high crescent lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, we're going to rise back up to one-legged mountain. And from here, we're going to take the left ankle, cross it over the right knee, flex the foot, and from here, bring the hips down into a four-legged. Inhale, rise. Exhale, squat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, squat. One more time. Option to have your block here for added support and stability, or you can hold chair pose as this. Keep the chest nice and lifted. Go ahead and exhale. You can find the hands down to the mat for a little forward fold. Wonderful. Go ahead and bring the torso back up. Release the leg. Both feet are flat on the mat. Now bringing up the right leg. Flex the ankle, cross it over the left knee. From here, sit back into chair. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, rise. Inhale. One more time. Exhale for figure four in your chair. Having the block nearby in case you need that stability. Keeping that right heel flexed. One more inhale here. And then exhale, keeping the position of your lower half the same. I'm going to bow the head down, bringing the chest closer in to your legs. It's a lot more intense for me on this side, just as an example of how your body can differ from side to side. Inhale, release, bring both feet down. Go ahead and wiggle that on out. That was some hard work there right towards the end. Now we're going to move into our cool down. We're going to inhale, arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold into a nice rag doll. So go ahead and keep a generous bend behind the legs. Clasp arm to elbow. Go ahead and rock side to side. Wonderful. From here, go ahead and find the seat behind you. And feet are flat on the mat now. We're going to rock the knees from the right side over to the left side, touching the knees down. Your stance is wide, feet are wide apart, so that when your knees touch down, they're not touching the other leg. Plenty of room here. Nice work, y'all. Not easy stuff. Perfect. Go ahead and come back to center. We're going to come down onto our backs. Now with the left leg, we're going to extend that up towards the ceiling. Keep the right knee bent and flex the foot. Then we're going to cross left ankle over right knee into supine figure four. Take the hands clasped behind the thigh. Inhale here, exhale. We're just focusing on the heart rate coming back down. Breathing in through the nostrils. Nice sighs of relief on the exhale out your mouth. The more you draw in the right knee, the greater of a release you're going to get down the left outer thigh here and hip. Okay? Our body's warmed up. We're at the end of our practice. This is the time to see just how deep we can get into our hip release without causing pain, of course, or without pushing too far. And when you feel like that side has had enough attention, you can go ahead and come back to both knees into the chest. Go ahead and bring the right leg up towards the ceiling, flexing the foot, crossing the right leg over the left knee. Perfect. From here, interlace the hands behind the knee of the left leg and gently pull in. And I'm really not pulling in at all. My arms are just resting, really. The thing that's drawing my legs closer into my chest is actually the strength coming through my left leg, through my left hip flexor. So keep that in mind while you are increasing the lengthening here and the stretch here on the right side of the hip. Try not to pull with your arms. Use the strength of your left leg to bring in the lower half up towards the chest. Hope that's making sense. Simultaneously, make sure you're not dropping your right knee into your chest. Your right knee is actively working away as your left leg is actively drawing in. One more inhale. One more exhale. Wonderful. Go ahead and bring both the feet down here. Now you are welcome to add in any last poses that you would like before we come into a Shavasana. If you need another happy baby pose, or if you want to do any other favorite hip opener of yours, now is the time. Take about 5 breaths in whatever finishing pose you would like to choose. Last inhale, last exhale before moving on to our Shavasana. Go ahead and bring the feet down to the mat and then stretch the body out from feet, crown of head, flat on the mat.
Take a strong breath in through the nostrils and then exhale, release, let your body soften into the mat. Allow your breath to fall off into the background. Let your body do its own thing there, and instead turn your focus inward, away from the body and away from the breath. Visualize what it might have looked like if you could have physically seen the tension leaving your body during your practice today. Where do you remember most of the tension being released from? Hold that part of the body in your mind and continue to visualize the stress, the tightness, and discomfort leaving the body. For the last minute of Shavasana, imagine your body buzzing from all that release and focus in on a feeling of peace, like you're floating. When you notice your mind wander, gently guide it back to that floating feeling. Start bringing back some movement into the body, starting with wiggling the toes and the fingertips.
Slowly and gently go ahead and come to one side of your mat before pressing up into a seated position. Thank you for joining me for another class, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you next week. As always, it is such an honor to be your teacher.